Take a moment, look at the disclaimer. This content is for educational, information, entertainment purposes only, and nothing should be taken as a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any securities at any time. We're here just to tell you how we look at the markets, how we analyze the markets. And nothing should be taken as a recommendation. This is Rod from BTA, and we are known as the middle traders. We are not going to get in at the exact bottom, and we are not going to get out at the exact top, but we will. We are going to make a lot of money in the middle. We are the stock market masters. What we're going to do here is look at our Bollinger Band RSI stochastic MACD strategy, an update on that strategy. As you know, we've been watching this strategy for well over a month now. And we did get the setup week. We did get the signal week, and we got the pivot week. For everybody who's a member of browntradingacademy.com, you got our trading plan for that, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay? For everybody else, I hope you could catch on as we walk through this thing over the next couple of weeks, because it's resetting now, okay? It's resetting now. It's starting over again. We have to start it over. The pattern has been canceled, okay? Because we closed back below the low of a previous week, and we closed back below the low of the Bollinger Band. So the pattern has to be reset. The strategy has to be reset. And now we're looking for a new setup week, and then a signal week, and hopefully the pivot week. And we can go long. But we are in a bear market. We didn't take the last trade the last time we got our pivot week because the volume wasn't there. The momentum wasn't there. The acceleration wasn't there. And it was a cloud over our head. That cloud. And we was wondering, was it just a sun shower, a rainstorm, or thunderstorms? Or like Jamie Dimon said, it's a hurricane coming. Well, we didn't take that trade. And it was flipped to the short side. A bet against these ETFs. And congratulations once again to everybody who made money. And I appreciate all your kind words, even though we know that none of this is financial advice, because we don't give financial advice. But wouldn't it be wonderful if it was? But it's not, okay? But congratulations to everybody who made money. Now, here is a weekly chart of the DIA, okay? And we got our Bollinger Bands up top. We got our RSI here. We got our stochastic down here. And we got our MACD over here. Okay? And this is our Bollinger Band. And this is a weekly chart of the DIA. This is our chart for the weekly Bollinger Band RSI stochastic MACD strategy. Our weekly Bollinger Band strategy. So, we did close below the lower Bollinger Band. Then get back above it, close above it. We had our signal week. We had traded down to the oversold levels on the RSI. It came back out of that oversold level. The stochastic got oversold. We got a bullish crossover. It got back above 20. Beautiful. So we got our signal week, and we actually hit the pivot. But we didn't take the trade, as everyone knows. It was actually flipped to the downside. Well, now we're back below the lower Bollinger Band. So now the pattern has to be reset. Not only that, if you notice, this week was lower than the previous week. This is a weekly chart. So each one of these bars represent 1 week, right? Okay, this is a weekly chart of the DIA. Okay, a weekly chart of the DIA. Let me expand this to make sure everybody can see it. Okay, this is not going to take long for us to go through this, but it has to be done. So we had a nice tight consolidation week here, but the next week closed below the low of this week. So right there, the pattern is dead. Okay, not only that, it will have to reset. Okay, and we have rules for that in our trading plan, which everyone has who's a member of BrownTradingAcademy.com. But as you see here, we also got back below the lower Bollinger Band, okay, for the DIA. This week we're trading below it. If we close below it this week, okay, then that's going to be it invalidates the pattern. It invalidates everything, even though it's already invalidated because we closed below the low of any previous week. Okay, right here we closed below the low of the previous week, and right now we well below this week. Okay, last week, this week, this is this week. We're not finished yet. This is only Tuesday, so we got the rest of the week to see what happens. It could trade back up and get back above the lower Bollinger Band. Okay, let's see what happens. But at the end of the day, okay, we are now back below the lower Bollinger Band. We're gonna need to see it get back above the lower Bollinger Band. The RSI is almost at 30. It's not quite oversold. It's almost there. It's at 32. It's at 32. And the stochastic is rolling back over. We had a bearish crossover right here. You can see the blue line cross below the red. That gave us a bearish crossover. Okay. And it's starting to come down to the 20 level. It's at 22. And you see the MACD is well into the red. So in other words, we need to see, it'll be nice to see if this RSI, and we can sell off a little bit more, and this RSI get back below 30. That would be nice, but it doesn't have to because the pattern is resetting now. It don't have to. It's low enough. It's at 32. But we are going to definitely need to see a bullish crossover where the blue line crosses back above the red, okay? We're going to need to see that. The blue line crossing back above the red, all right? That's called a bullish crossover. So we're going to be monitoring the DIA to see if we can get that. We need to close back above the lower Bollinger Band. The RSI has to stay above 30. And we're going to need a bullish crossover on the stochastic where the blue line crosses above the red, okay? So that's the DIA. That's what we're looking for. The pattern is reset, and we're going to watch it. We're going to wait. Be patient. Just like we was the last 10 days, 15 days. We waited while the market was consolidating. We didn't get anxious. We didn't move too quickly. We waited. And guess what? Some people got a $20 per share move, profit, when they shorted it. It's worth waiting to looking for the highest probability move. Will give us the highest probability of success. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm just showing you what we do here at BTA, and what we do works because our indicators work. Lowest is the best. Okay, now let's look at the SPY. All right, here's the weekly chart of the SPY, our weekly Bollinger Band strategy for the SPY. And as you can see, once again, we have closed back below the lower Bollinger Band for the SPY. This is the weekly chart of the SPY. And here's the lower Bollinger Band. Here's the upper Bollinger Band, okay? Well, we closed back below the lower Bollinger Band. And the RSI, which is right here, the RSI is actually almost back to 30. We had 31. So it's almost back to oversold. That's exactly what we want to see, okay? We want to see it get oversold and come out of there. Well, the stochastic is wonderful. It's right where we need it to be. It's back below 20. We had a bearish crossover, okay, where the blue line crossed below the red line. That's a bearish crossover. That's showing that prices are trading more to the downside. And the blue line is below 20. It's at 16.71. So it's back in oversold territory. That's wonderful. So what we need to do, watching the weekly SPY, the weekly chart of the SPY, the ETF that tracks the Standard & Poor's 500. The DIA is the ETF that tracks the Dow Jones. This is what we trade when we want to go long, bet that the market is going to go up, or short it, bet that the market is going to go down. These are the vehicles, the securities that we use to do that, right? So right now, the SPY on the weekly chart is below the lower Bollinger Band. It closed today below it, but this is a weekly chart, right? So it's a weekly bar. So it's still in play. We got 3 more days. We got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Are we going to close above the lower Bollinger Band or stay below it? But the pattern is invalid. It's invalid. It's not valid right now because we closed below the low of any previous week. Here's a week. We closed last week. We closed below that week. And right now we below last week's low. Okay. Anytime you close below the low of any previous week, well, we got a problem. Okay. But now we're back below the lower Bollinger Band, so it automatically resets. We need to see prices close back above the lower Bollinger Band, and we need to see the RSI get above oversold level, which it is right now. Maybe it'll stay above 30. And we need to see the stochastic get back above 20, okay, and give us a bullish crossover. Well, we need to see that. That's the SPY, the weekly chart of the SPY. So we see the setup for the SPY, all right? The SPY is actually closer to what we want to see because the RSI is almost oversold, okay? And that's what we want to see. Now let's take a look at the Qs. Here's the weekly chart of the Qs. The Qs is also looking pretty good. I would just like to see it a little bit further below the lower Bollinger Band. It's right at it. It traded below it already this week. As you can see, the bottom of this bar, is below the lower Bollinger Band. Okay, so today is Tuesday. So yesterday, okay, it actually closed below. It actually traded below the lower Bollinger Band, but now it's back inside of it. Okay, well, I would like to see it still below the lower Bollinger Band until later this week, but that's fine. Okay, are we going to close above the lower Bollinger Band? That would be great. Well, the RSI is in a nice position. It's at 30.33, so it's almost completely at oversold levels. When it get down to 30, that's oversold. So it's pretty much right on it, okay? And the stochastic is looking nice, okay, for the setup, the recycle of this Bollinger Band strategy, because the blue line has crossed below the red. That signals a bearish crossover. And the blue line is below 20. It's at 13.20. So it is in oversold territory. The stochastic is definitely in oversold territory. So what we're going to need to see is the Qs close above the lower Bollinger Band. Eventually, we're going to have to see the RSI stay above 30. We're going to have to see a bullish crossover on the stochastic where the blue line crosses above the red and get back above 20. Okay? We're going to need to see that to give us our signal week. And then we're going to be looking for the pivot week. Okay? And then we're going to be looking for the pivot week. So, as of right now, the Qs is setting up nicely. The QQQ, the ETF that tracks the Standard & Poor's, the NASDAQ 100. The ETF that tracks the NASDAQ 100. The QQQs is setting up nicely. Let's take a look at the IWM, the ETF that tracks the Russell 2000. 2,000 small companies, small capitalization, the small companies, 2,000 small companies. Oh, it's looking pretty decent, right? Well, at least we're below the lower Bollinger Band on the recycle. So we're below the lower Bollinger Band. Well, we know the pattern is already invalid. It's invalid. It's not valid. Boy, that's a tongue twister for me today. But you see, we closed below the low of the previous week. So the pattern is not valid anymore, right? It's dead. And then we got below the lower Bollinger Band, so it's definitely done. We have to recycle the pattern. The Bollinger Band strategy has to recycle, reset. Now we're looking for prices to close above the lower Bollinger Band, okay? But the RSI on the IWM is right at 30 almost. It's almost oversold. It's almost at the 30 level. It's at 30.83. It's right there. That's not bad. The stochastic gave us our bearish crossover when we recycled. That's good. But it's not quite below 20 yet. It's at 22.48. We want to see it get it below 20. And then we want to see the bullish crossover, okay, and go back above 20. So it's close. It's not perfect, but nothing is perfect. This is an art, not a science. So if we can see prices on the weekly bars close above the lower Bollinger Band, the RSI stay above 30, and then we're going to definitely need a bullish crossover where the blue line crosses above the red and stay above 20, but that'll be good enough, okay? Then we're going to be looking for the signal week and then the pivot week, all right? But this is an art and not a science, so we're not looking for exact perfect setups, right? We just want the highest probability setups of success. Well, the IWM is setting up nicely. All of them are setting up pretty decent for a reset. Let's look at the ITOT. The ITOT is pretty much there for me. Okay, for me, the ITOT is pretty much there, all right? So look at the ITOT. It's below the lower Bollinger Band, right? It's below the lower Bollinger Band. The RSI is almost back to 30. It's at 30.78. The stochastic gave us a bearish crossover, and the blue line is below 20. It's at 15.72, right? So it's below 20. Well, guess what? The ITOT, which is the ETF that tracks the total U.S. stock market, beautiful. That's wonderful. And it's not a big moving stock. It only moved $2, $3 a day. So it's not that highly volatile. So me and my daughter likes to play this. My daughter really loves it. I like to play it too because, you know, if the market's going to go up, it's going to go up. If the market's going to go down, it's going to go down. You're only going to get $2, $3 a day, but at least you don't have to worry about losing 10, 15 a day. The name of the game is don't lose money. And if you lose money, lose as less as possible. That's the name of the game, right? It's only three things are going to happen. We're going to lose a little bit of money, we're going to make a little bit of money, or we're going to make a lot of money. We ain't going to lose a lot of money. There's only three things going to happen for us. We're going to lose a little bit of money, we're going to make a little bit of money, or we're going to make a lot of money, a whole lot of money. It's the only three things that are going to happen. But we will not, we do not lose a lot of money because we use proper money management, proper position sizing. We don't take unnecessary risks. We stay patient. We look for the highest probabilities, the highest probability setups, the highest probability trades. And we go in slow until the market proves itself or the stock proves itself. And we build a position. We were taught by the best. Okay? So, the ITOT is setting up nicely. The weekly Bollinger Band, we below the lower Bollinger Band. Okay, we below the lower Bollinger Band. The RSI is at 30.78. It's almost at 30. The stochastic is at 15. Wonderful. We got a bearish crossover. So all we need to do is see the price, the weekly bars, the weekly price close back above the lower Bollinger Band. We need to see the RSI get back above, well, it is above 30, stay above 30. And we're going to need that stochastic to give us a bullish crossover. The blue line cross above the red, get back above 20. And then we're going to be looking for that signal week and that pivot week. And hopefully this time around, we also get a follow-through day, which we got last time. But this time around, hopefully, we see that volume coming in, telling us the large institutional investors are buying in. Remember that on-balance volume? Remember that Ichimoku cloud? We want to see all that have improvement the next time we get the pivot week on this strategy. And then it's a go. Cha-ching. Hopefully. But if it don't work, we're going to get out quickly. We got our cut loss. We know we're going to get out at. And we're going to hopefully only lose a little bit of money. Okay, so that's the update on the weekly Bollinger Band strategy. We're going to be watching it every day, all day, every week, all week. We're going to be watching it. And we're waiting for the setup. Okay? We're waiting for the setup. And when it hit, hopefully everything lines up and it's a go. All right, look out for the next couple of videos.